It took me a little longer to get than I would have liked. Hey guys, it's Amanda. If you're new here, I'm an American living in the UK, and I post about my life and experiences living here, as well as these weekly reactions requested by all of you. Now, I'll admit, I've only seen him a few times on Top Gear, and he didn't seem to be too crazy, so I'm curious to see what these savage Jeremy Clarkson moments are. What are your thoughts? What do you think will be on the list? Let me know.
How thrilled are you that Top Gear is nowhere near as successful now that you're not on it?
It's a hard face to pull, this one. Let me try.
Welcome to Watch Mojo UK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 most savage Jeremy Clarkson moments.
This does pay him back for holding us up all day long. And that if he worked for CNN, he wouldn't get such pitifully low ratings that his show got cancelled.
Oh, that's perfect.
But we need to glue the whole damn thing, literally the whole thing, every button.
Yeah.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're going to be looking at Clarkson's most brutal jokes and pranks. Let us know in the comments which Clarkson comeback you think was the funniest. Number 10, Jacob Zuma, The Grand Tour. While filming in Johannesburg, Clarkson decided to make a joke that certainly struck a chord with the locals. The audience's laughter speaks for itself. When asked a question about human evolution, Clarkson responds with a ridiculous number, referring to South African president at the time, Jacob Zuma's struggle to read a long number out loud.
It's taken 2,100,000.
Though it might seem tone deaf to go to a different country and make fun of their leaders, Clarkson clearly did his research. Zuma was known to be corrupt and was widely disliked. The trio made jokes about this too, pointing out Zuma's lavish spending on sports cars and swimming pools.
He said it was actually a water storage facility in case of a fire. So, in other words, if he burst into flames, he could jump into it and put himself out in 1,000 and 300 seconds.
Number 9, on Americans.
To be fair, at least he was clever, and he checked his facts first, so he didn't really offend anybody, did he?
The Michael McIntyre Chat Show. Time and time again, Clarkson has proven he has no time for Americans. During this segment on Michael McIntyre's short-lived chat show, they get onto the topic of comparing how different things are across the pond.
Trunk. Trunk is on the front of an elephant, not the back of a saloon car, but they have no idea.
They start with criticizing American traffic lights, and how in America words are used on signs instead of symbols, impairing anybody who doesn't speak English, which Clarkson thinks is ridiculous.
Whereas everywhere else in the world where there are other languages, it's symbols.
Yeah.
That's just how stupid they are.
Then he lists all the different words used for the exact same things in the US and how he doesn't like it, pointing out how Americans are wrong about everything is Britain's favourite pastime after all.
Gas! They call a liquid gas.
Number 8, Yayam.
He's clearly not a fan of Americans. I mean, we're not that bad, are we? But on the subject of cars, there are actually loads of different words, but I've never actually really thought about the signs themselves. And I definitely didn't know we were the only ones with words instead of symbols, so I'm going to have to check that out.
Abelenda. Top Gear, the perfect road trip too. When you think of how many different countries they visited during both Top Gear and the Grand Tour, and how many of the best cars in the world are Italian, it's remarkable that Hammond actually fell for this joke.
Ah, they go on.
Is ridiculous.
What?
You can't get spaghetti bolognese anywhere.
Apparently not knowing how to order spaghetti bolognese in Italian, hint, it's spaghetti bolognese, Hammond is convinced by Clarkson that he needs to ask the waiter for Yayam Abelenda.
What's it called?
It's called Yayam Abelenda.
Yayam.
Yayam Abelenda.
He tries it a few times before realizing he's making a fool of himself and waves the waiter away. If he didn't want to be the butt of the joke, he probably should have learnt some Italian beforehand.
I am a blender. Oh, you total plumsack. You childish... You're a grown man.
Number 7. Public transport.
That took me a little longer to get than I would have liked. I was like, what? I am Belinda. That's brilliant.
Transportation. The Grand Tour. Clarkson in a Ford GT while Hammond and May are stuck on public transport in a race all the way from New York to Niagara Falls.
In the GT, I was already leaving Manhattan.
Not satisfied that he's got the victory in the bag by driving a supercar wherever he wants, not beholden to long waiting times and inconvenient routes, Clarkson decides to sabotage them. One of his attempts involves getting them blacklisted by the airline by claiming they're both addicts currently in rehab, which leaves them stuck in economy class without any alcohol.
They've both just come out of rehab. So on the flight, could you make sure the attendants don't give them any alcohol?
And though it's a close call, Clarkson wins the race, so his shenanigans were just adding insult to injury.
How long have you been here?
Long enough to do some nice pictures and some Instagram work.
Oh, good.
Number 6. Jaguar Drivers. Top Gear. You can tell a lot about a person by what kind of car they drive, and some of these stereotypes are universal. While talking about a flashy Jaguar, they get to talking about what Jaguar owners are like.
Flirting outrageously with a waitress, and it's okay because he's got a Jag.
According to Clarkson, they're slimy and untrustworthy, and most people who are in prison for tax evasion probably have a Jag waiting for them outside.
The ones who are in there for a bit of tax dodging, I bet 80% have got Jags. You know what I mean, don't you?
He even asks the audience if any of them have Jaguars, and makes fun of someone who owns up to the crime.
Oh,
Why anyone would offer themselves up to be humiliated by Clarkson is a mystery, but it was definitely funny.
Would you mind also settling this while I go and warm up the Jag? You know what I mean?
Number 5. Water tampering. Top Gear.
This does pay him back for holding us up all day long.
Hammond's got a shower built into his lorry, and annoyed about his behaviour that day, Clarkson takes it upon himself to get revenge. He decides to urinate in the tank Hammond uses to collect rainwater, making it unfit for human consumption.
Oh, there's more.
Part 2.
Later on, Hammond's trying to clean himself and talking about how lovely and warm the disgusting water is, while Clarkson and May are beside themselves outside. It's almost sad to listen to him boast about his shower, but he probably should have guessed that it was only a matter of time until someone contaminated his water supply.
Fresh rainwater.
Golden rain.
Number 4. The Airport
That's
Rant.
disgusting.
The Grand Tour. For most people, going through an airport is a necessary evil every once in a while when they go on holiday. But for the Grand Tour blokes, they're constantly going through airports all over the world, dealing with the long check-ins, delays, and extensive security measures.
Oh, good. Security. Time to take all my clothes off and give someone my toothpaste.
In Series 3, Clarkson dedicated an entire item to complaining about Stansted airports, raging about how his tiny plastic bags full of anomalous white powder are always picked out to be searched by border control.
You go through anywhere in the world, why are they so interested in my condiments and medical necessities?
And to make matters even worse, while they battle through duty-free, they come across a giant advert of James May.
Then you've got the adverts. Look at that half-wit. Look at him.
Number 3. Piers Morgan. Top Gear. A lot of people dislike Piers Morgan. He's one of the most controversial public figures in the entire world, let alone the UK. And Jeremy Clarkson is among those who despise him. In 2014, Clarkson took a few shots at Morgan, insulting his hair and hitting him where it really hurts, in the cancellation of his unpopular talk show on CNN.
And that if he worked for CNN, he wouldn't get such pitifully low ratings, and his show got cancelled.
This was just one incident in the long feud between the pair, which has been intense ever since Clarkson punched Morgan in the face, leaving a scar back in 2004 due to a story Morgan ran in the Daily Mirror.
I have a scar here when I go to Tam, and it's from his signet ring I think he had on, which gouged me here.
Number 2. Car Alterations, Top Gear. Clarkson teams up with Hammond this time to make a few improvements to May's car.
Oh, that's perfect.
But we need to glue the whole damn thing, literally the whole thing, every button.
They take out his CD of classical compositions and replace it with loud house music. Because taking the CD out and replacing again would be too easy for May, they also glue around the buttons and the volume knob, meaning he's stuck in a car with thumping bass on the loudest setting. Clarkson and Hammond cruise along in silence, while May is stuck with the music, baffled as to what they've done to his car. Making someone listen to music they hate is always funny, but even more if that person is James May.
Maybe we'll have converted him.
Number 1. New Top Gear, The Jonathan Ross Show. After Clarkson was booted from Top Gear for an altercation with a producer, May and Hammond walked in solidarity and made the grand tour. But the BBC wasn't willing to let Top Gear die, instead going through a whole roster of alternative presenters until settling on the few the audience actually liked: Paddy McGuinness, Freddie Flintoff, and Chris Harris. But Clarkson hasn't been shy in sharing his thoughts on the revamped Top Gear, and that he's glad it was failing for a long time in his absence.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how thrilled are you that Top Gear is nowhere near as successful now that you're not on it?
It's a hard face to pull, this one. Let me try.
While Hammond and May are diplomatic about it, Clarkson is eternally smug, and who can blame him?
Yeah, James and Richard always say, no, it's a shame. We wish them all the best. I don't.
At least he's honest. I actually haven't seen the new Top Gear, but I do like Paddy, so I'm definitely going to check it out. Yes, it's true, he can be savage. He definitely doesn't care what people think about him, that is very clear. And it's also very obvious that no one is safe around him. Peeing in the shower is the one that probably got me the most. That is absolutely disgusting. But keep the recommendations coming, and I'll keep watching. And as always, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, smash that like button if that's what you're into, and I'll see you in the next video.